Hey, this is Kamori, and today we're going to be making the top for the Gastly Gijinka costume, and I'm using Simplicity 2067, and I'm just using the base boned bodice pattern. I started by cutting all of the bodice lining pieces out of some purple cotton that I just had left over, and I took all of the pieces, cut two of them, sewed them together, sewed boning channels, inserted boning, and then assembled them. And to be honest, this was perhaps not the best way of doing it. If I was to remake this project, I would sew the boning channels, leave the end open, sew all of the bodice lining pieces together, then insert the boning and sew them closed all in one go, just to make it easier to feed them through the machine. And here is what the boned bodice lining looks like once it has all been attached. To make the front panel, cut the bodice pieces out of some black satin. Sew the black satin pieces together to create the outer shell of the bodice. Then, putting right sides together, sew the front of the bodice to the back of the bodice, and you're going to leave both sides open. Turn the bodice right side out, fold the ends inward and sew them down. Add some eyelets and top stitch all along the edge to keep everything in place. To make the modesty panel for the back of the bodice, cut a rectangle out of black satin, then fold it in half and sew it along the top and along the bottom, leaving the side open. Turn the rectangle right side out, fold the side inwards, sew it in place, and continue sewing all around to top stitch the rest of the edges. Then sew the modesty panel onto one side of the bodice, making sure that the eyelets are able to be accessed. Then, since I used eyelets that didn't match, I'm going to go over them with some black thread. For the bow in the front, start by making a pattern out of some scrap paper and cut one piece out of black on the fold and one piece out of white on the fold. Then, putting right sides together, sew the two pieces together along the sides, leaving a gap open at the top. Turn the bow right side out and stitch the hole closed. To make the knot of the bow, cut a small rectangle out of black satin, then fold it in half and sew together along the side, leaving the ends open. Turn the knot piece right side out, then fold over the edges and sew them in place. Sew the knot around the bow, then sew the bow onto the bodice. Then I sewed on a strand of red beads with these little triangle-shaped clear bead charms so that it looks a little bit more like Gastly's face. Next, add some purple satin ribbon so that the back of the bodice can be laced closed. And with that, Gastly's bodice is done. For more cosplay sewing tutorials, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.